All right, everybody. Well, welcome to the Discover the American Farm Bureau Foundation for Agriculture webinar. I think we'll go ahead and get started. There's a small group of us, but I want to honor the fact that you are all here and your time is valuable. So we might as well just get going. So welcome. A few logistics about Zoom. Just want to make sure that for any of us who are unfamiliar with this program that we cover our basics here. So the chat function we will be utilizing during this this webinar today. And so the chat is just this little chat bubble that you can click on, and then when you send a message in this bottom right corner, just make sure that you select to send it to all panelists and all attendees. That way we all get your message. Any questions about navigating Zoom? Great. Let's move forward then. So I really love these webinars because we normally get some folks from all across the United States. And so it's fun to see what everybody's doing and where you're from. So I'll first introduce myself and then it'll be your turn. So my name is Leah Pratt and I work for the American Farm Bureau Foundation for Agriculture, and I'm coming to you live from the state of Idaho this evening. So now, and we also have some, believe we have some other teammates on as well. We've got Pete Nice, he is our media and technology specialist here at the foundation. And then we have Sierra Comstock, she's an education specialist at the foundation as well. But the rest of you, I'd love if you could introduce yourself. So just in that chat section that I just pointed out, go ahead and put your name, your affiliation, and then the state that you come to us from. Welcome, Justin, extension agent from Texas, great. And welcome, Kara from Massachusetts. And we've got Melanie from the Women's Committee, the Georgia, she's from Georgia and she's in the Farm Bureau Women's Committee, great. Looks like we also have Joanna joining us today as well. Super. Well, welcome everybody. Really glad to have you. And a brief overview of the outreach team. So this webinar is a part of a bigger picture, actually, and this it's a part of our outreach team at the foundation. And one of the reasons why the outreach team is unique and awesome is that you receive advanced notification of resources when we put them out. We reach out to our outreach team members for speaking opportunities at workshops or events. We'll give you special invites to any events that we're hosting, and then we also will reach out to you to ask to pilot programs when we put out a new resource, and we love to get in the field experience feedback from it. So we'll reach out to our outreach team members to pilot our programs. And so if you're interested in joining, if this webinar inspires you to do that, there's a few things that you can do to become an official outreach team member. And the first, one of the 4 things you're already gonna have checked off your list, and that's attending this webinar. So you'll also need to go on to Farm Bureau University and you take these free short online courses about the pillars that we will go over today too, so you can find out if you're interested in learning more about those. And then you will put on a workshop or an event using some of our materials and resources, and then you just complete a short reflection survey and send it to us. And this culminating workshop is this webinar, so you will have that attended. And if you're interested in learning more, you can send an email to foundation@fb.org, or you can send an email to me. My email will be at the end of this webinar, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have. So today, our goal is to, by the end of it, that you will understand what the pillars are, you'll understand how to use them, and you'll know the right job for the tool. All of you are involved in ag literacy efforts at various levels, and the foundation has lots of resources that you can use or some of your colleagues can use as well. So we want to help you feel confident using the right tool for the job. So let's start with the pillars. How many of us can go ahead and say if you've used them before in the chat? How many of us have ever used the pillars of agriculture literacy or have heard of them before? Doesn't look like anybody has. So that is great. I'll give you a brief overview of what they are. So, oh, and first, before I dig into this, I want you to know that you have access to this resource. So in the chat at the very beginning, I put a Dropbox link, and that has 3 files in it, one of which is this Pillars PDF that you can download. So you can go ahead and click on that, and you should be able to download those directly to your computer. So in there, there's a PDF about the pillars. So the pillars are a tool that the foundation developed a few years ago for a variety of reasons. We use it internally to develop our educational resources. So whenever we're developing a new ag mag, for example, we'll look at our pillars and try to identify some gaps, and it's a great planning tool for us. And then we also have the pillars because it's a great tool to use externally as well. So for all of you, whenever you are planning future agriculture literacy events, the pillars is a resource and a tool that you can go to come up with ideas and see if there's anywhere where you're falling short in your ag literacy efforts. And this is a free resource you can use. This is the overview. As you can see, there's our foundational knowledge at the bottom, and then there's 6 pillars of how agriculture relates and intersects with the rest of society. And the pillars document that's in that Dropbox folder has almost what looks like standards that are listed out that can help you really develop some objectives for your events. So this is what the pillars are. And now we're going to dig into them and see what it would look like to use them as a reference when we are planning ag literacy events. So also in that Dropbox folder is there's 2 sheets that look very familiar. They're Word documents and they're very similar. And there is an ag literacy planning review worksheet. And so I'd love if you could either pull that up, or if you'd like to just look at this screen and you can pull up a piece of scratch paper and take some notes, that would be great. Either one will work. But we are going to use the next few minutes to use this review worksheet to reflect on what events or ag literacy experiences we've been a part of or our organization has helped put on in the past. So for example, let's say you know that your organization has recently provided ag books to your local school library. When was this presented and developed? You do it once a year. For the past 5 years, you've donated the books. What have been the results or the evidence of impacts? The librarian appreciates the books. Everybody loves free books. And then where does it fit within this relationship to the pillars of ag literacy? They're for elementary school students, so it's probably just foundational knowledge. And then target audience is K through 6, and then your method of engagement is simply sharing materials, and there's some other examples listed there that you can reference. So go ahead and take the next few minutes and come up with at least 2 ideas of something that you've either been a part of or something that your organization has, and fill out these 5 columns, and then we'll move forward and use this as a way to take inventory of what we have. Let's take about another minute to think of some activities or materials that you've used in your ag literacy efforts. All right. So this review worksheet is a tool that you can use in other areas. You can give it to other colleagues. If you're not the one who directly is in charge of any ag literacy efforts you do. It just identifies some gaps and helps you think of new ideas of ways that you can expand your outreach efforts. So with that being said, with that inventory done, let's take a moment to learn about the 4 websites that the American Farm Bureau Foundation for Agriculture offers all of you. So these are the websites I will be referencing. Feel free to visit these sites as we go along, and I share them, and you can browse as we talk and learn about them. And Sierra, if you could you put these, can you type out these links in the chat? That would be great, thanks. So let's first start with the Foundation's website. So agfoundation.org is the main hub for the Foundation resources. This is our main website. We have all of our resources on there. We have our projects as well. Any upcoming events, our store is on there, and then we have our scholarships opportunities. If you'd like to attend the Ag in the Classroom conference, for example, we offer scholarships that you can apply for on there. And then we also have any books as well that you can get from that main website. And a few things to point out that are new and relevant on the Ag Foundation website are our food and farm facts resources. So the Food and Farm Facts has a book, a map, and a pocket guide. And the Food and Farm Facts, if you're not familiar with them, help answer the questions of where does our food come from and who grows it. So we explore topics about agriculture in the United States to answer those questions. The book is 32 pages, it's full color, and it features updated facts and easy to read infographics that can be used in a variety of ways to help increase ag literacy. So this book would be a really valuable resource in the classroom, at fairs and events, for student leadership organizations, or even to use for inspiration on social media. And then this pocket guide is a perfect giveaway at events, and you can get 100 of the little pocket guides for $10. So super great steal. And then there's also that fun map that is great to put up in an office entryway, or if you're a classroom teacher, it's a great resource as well for that. And this is our new 2019 version. We come out with one every 2 years. We have a new Food and Farm Facts. And there are additional resources for teachers and ag outreach coordinators online of how to use the Food and Farm Facts. So feel free to check that out if you're so inclined. And then another fun resource is that we've recently gone into the card game business. And so these are our natural resource cards. The set of cards includes 2 activities that you can do with them. So there's the Who Am I activity, and players ask yes or no questions to identify what word is shown on the card. And then there's also the Who Is Like Me activity, and players try to fit their resource cards into one of the 7 natural resource categories. There's 25 playing cards and 4 instruction cards, and it's best for grades 3rd through 5th grade. And there's also a quick start guide, as shown on the right side of the screen, to help give you some ideas of how to use these cards in an ag literacy event. And then we also have the animal housing cards, similar to the natural resource ones. These cards you can get online as well, and there's also a quick start guide for them for you to download. And then one more thing that I wanted to point out to everybody is that we recently developed a Aglet Catalog, and so this is our new searchable database for resources. And so if you go to the American Farm Bureau Foundation's website, agfoundation.org, one of the new tabs is the Aglet Catalog. And so we're still working on populating that with resources, but soon it'll be our main database for you to search for anything that the foundation produces. So that's a great resource tool for you. And so just keep your eyes out for that, and keep that top of mind whenever you're wanting to search for some ideas of what to do and what to use. So that's the foundation's main website. We also have My American Farm. My American Farm, thanks Sierra, I've just put a link to the Aglet Catalog in the chat if you'd like to check that out. There's also My American Farm. This program was established in 2011, and it's our educational gaming platform for pre-K through 5th grade. The website's myamericanfarm.org, and on that website there are games. There's 26 free games that you can utilize on your computer. There's also activities and lesson plans for the classroom. So if you're wanting to go into a classroom, you can play a game, and there's also a lesson plan that you can follow to make it more of a workshop and interactive experience with students. My American Farm is also great for fairs and events. Whether you have an iPad where students can, children can come up and play the games on the iPad, they can do that. But we also have a lot of great promotional agriculture resources on My American Farm. There's stickers, there are pop-up banners, there are interactive displays. that you can use at your fairs and events that I highly recommend. And then there's also just great resources for some family fun. There's some recipes and there's some great books that you can read to your kids at night. And almost all of the resources on this website are free. So some things to know about My American Farm. There is this, one of our newest resources is our exciting poultry adventure game. This is for 3rd through 5th grade students, and it is our math-based game, so to help develop those math skills. And it's totally free, and then there's also lesson plans and activity sheets and an e-comic that goes with each one. So go ahead and check that out. That's a really fun game that we developed with the support of U.S. Poultry. And then we also have our apps, our My American Farm app. So our most recent one was the My American Farm STEM app that you can download for free on the Apple Store or Google Play Store. It features our 4 STEM games, science, technology, engineering, and math games. And but My American Farm also has 3 other apps that you can download on these stores as well for free. There's one about beef called All About Beef. There's one called My American Farm, and it has 6 of our games that are different than these 4 featured here. And then there's also Ag Across America, which is a pretty complex game. There's 100 questions, and it's a great way for your students or your own children to learn about where their food comes from across the United States. And just a heads up, My American Farm will be getting a facelift soon. So the website will look a little bit differently in a few months than it does right now. So, but it'll still have the same URL, but it will look slightly different. Our next platform is Purple Plow. So Purple Plow is our free STEM challenge platform for 5th through 12th grade students. You can find it at purpleplow.org. And some things to check out on that website are primarily the challenges. So there are 7 challenges on the website. And then there are 40 puzzlers. So the challenges include a facilitator guide for either yourself or if you're going to recommend this to a teacher that you know, that would be their guide that they follow. There's also a student guide that you give to the students, and there's lessons as well that you can follow if you'd like to teach those. And then there's videos for each of the challenges that help explain what the challenge actually is. And we started Purple Plow because we thought that it was a great way to engage students in critically thinking about how we address these real world problems in agriculture. And so there's these free challenges that you can download and work with your community to complete. So you don't have to be a teacher to do this. It fits great in the classroom, but if you'd like to recruit a local 4-H club, boys and girls club, any group that's 5th through 12th grade to participate in this challenge, we absolutely encourage it. These resources are free to download, and it is a biannual contest. And so this fall, we have the Growing Green Challenge, which is featured here. And the challenge closes on November 22nd, but if you submit your entries online, you have the opportunity to win a $100 Visa gift card, as well as a $300 valued 3D printer. And we also give medals as well to the winning teams. So fun way to get your community involved in solving real world agriculture problems. And then there's also puzzlers that I mentioned before on the Purple Plow website that are great 30 minute to 2 hour activities that you can download for free if you're looking for something that's quick and easy to go in and do with a group. And you can download those all for free on purpleplow.org. Then last but not least, we have Feeding Minds Press. So Feeding Minds Press is our book publishing company that we started, I believe, at the top of this year, if I've got everything straight. And a great thing to check out on that website is our books. So we'll have our featured publications on there, and then you can also submit manuscripts. So if you like to write, or you know somebody who's a great writer and wants to tell the story of agriculture, we are always accepting submissions for accurate agriculture books for elementary students. So please, we need more voices out there to put in some submissions. And some books to highlight is our book of the year right this very minute. It's a farm to table book. And we also have an educator's guide that helps, there's some lessons in there for how you can use the book. And then we also, most recently, one of our free books, A Very Good Project. It's our chapter book, and it's a part of the My Little Ag Me series, which is a collaboration with My American Farm, and it's all about agriculture careers. And so this was one of our more recent books, and it's free, and you can just download it online and print it off. So those are our four main websites that you can download or buy resources. Next, let's think about how we can use them. So also in that Dropbox folder is the strategic planning worksheet. So on this worksheet, it looks pretty similar to the review one, but it's all about planning for the future. So thinking about these resources, these foundation resources that you just learned about, how can we put them into action? So let's think about what is our goal, what's our objective, how could it relate to the pillars of ag literacy, what exactly is the activity or material for this ag literacy effort, who's the target audience that I'd like to use this for, and then is there any other plan details like a timeline or budget or people that I should loop in to make this happen. So let's take the next 3 minutes to brainstorm at least one idea that'll fit within the strategic planning worksheet. So either fill this out on your computer or jot down some notes on a piece of paper of how we can utilize a foundation resource in an ag literacy event. All right, let's take about 1 more minute to think about how we can utilize these foundation resources, and let's be prepared to share. If you're already done, you can start to put some thoughts in the chat box. Otherwise, I will take some volunteers and I will unmute you so that you can verbally share out loud what you're thinking. Let's take about 1 more minute. All right, so let's go ahead and have some volunteers share with the group. So Melanie, would you mind elaborating more on the ag
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. We have an ag day at the elementary school where once a year, we've only done it once, but at the end of May, we invite all the kids out to look at different fundamental parts of agriculture. We have a little ag center with the animals in it. We have a career person that talks about different careers. We did in-depth cotton, in-depth poultry, water conservation, and just different. We really wanted to like ag and lifestyle and how we could not function if it wasn't for agriculture, and how it fits into our everyday lives, and how they should think about everything they do in an agricultural mindset.
Yeah, that's great. Is there a specific foundation resource that you learned about today that you think could fit in well with that?
All of them.
Anything could work depending on what you're trying to get accomplished.
Yeah, I think we could really expound on every part of it through one of these pillars.
Great. Well, thanks for sharing. Thank you. Let's see. Let's take a few more people to share. I've allowed you all to talk, so all you have to do is unmute yourself to jump in. Anyone else like to share some of their thoughts for how to use these foundation resources, or are there any questions you have of anything I can clarify about the resources? Okay. Well, please feel free to use this this Word document whenever you're maybe having your annual planning sessions with your organization. It's a great way to strategically plan out the year and to use the pillars as a way to identify if there's any gaps that you're having. The first website we discussed was agfoundation.org. That's our main website. Does that answer your question, Jody? Okay, great. Are there any other questions that anybody has of anything I can clarify? Okay, great. Let's see, Jody has a question. Do you take PO? Can you clarify what you mean? Oh, purchase orders, yes. You know, I am not actually sure if we take purchase orders. We definitely take credit cards, and you can just go to our it's agfoundation /store is where you can find anything that is for purchase, and it's a really easy, simple process to buy anything. And then all of our free resources are also just on our website that you can download. And if anything is ever out of stock, just shoot us an email and we can let you know when everything will be refulfilled. Great. Thanks for your question, Jody. Well, thank you all for carving out some time out of your evening tonight to be with us and to learn about the foundation resources. We think that all of you play a really important role in educating our society about agriculture, and so we really appreciate you and all the hard work that you do. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email at educationdirector@fb.org. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Other than that, that concludes our webinar. And thank you so much for attending. I hope you have a great rest of your evening.